Okay, Assalamualaikum and good morning to all of you. Welcome to our audit team meeting. So, Miss Farah, do we have enough quorum?
Unfortunately, Miss Asyiqin just told me that she will be a little bit late. I guess we can wait for her for a while.
Sure, we will wait for her for a while.
Assalamualaikum. I'm sorry, Miss Hazimah, for the delay. So can we continue for our meeting?
No worries, Miss Ashkin. Anyway, welcome again to our audit team meeting to all of you. Thank you so much for your presence in this meeting. So, shall we start the meeting according to the objective that has been prepared earlier?
Right, sure. Let's carry on.
Okay, our objective is focusing on discussing the audit planning we want to implement on our client, which is Helena 9 Berhad. And we are going to present our preparation and findings on our client.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Luqman. So I believe now we can proceed to the questionnaire that has been prepared for Helena Sendian Berhad.
Okay, about the questionnaire, we already prepared question for each 4 components of internal control system chosen, and each component consists 5 questions. For control activities, the first question is, does controls employed by Helena Sdn Berhad ensure comparison, approval and authorization upon tangible non-current asset acquisition and its allowable budget? Next, does the company implement the technology security to protect the information and prevent fraud? Third, does the company hire independent party in applying security in information access? Fourth, does Helena Sdn Berhad has policies and procedures met addressing proper segregation of duties for each task? And lastly, does the policies, processes or directive met are in place that ensure employees and directors are aware of their role related to internal control responsibilities? And as for risk assessment, the first question is, does the company apply budget control on tangible non-current assets expenditure? Next, does the bonus entitlement is reviewed by the right director or management? Third, which management is granted access for budget control and purchase requisition information? Fourth, does the management identify risks that could affect the organization, thus jeopardizing the objective achievement, namely? And lastly, does Helena Sdn Berhad do risk identification or assessment that is broad and includes both internal and external business partners, namely hired buyer?
Thank you, Ms. Farah. Is there any more questionnaire that should have been prepared for Helena Sendian Berhad?
We have 2 more questions, which is for information and communication. The first one is, does meeting content between buyer and director is recorded or documented? Second one is, how often the requirement and budget of tangible non-current asset is reviewed? The third one is, does the management apply a process for the development, approval and implementation of policy and ensure the related staff understand and you know it? Next is, does communication exist between management and the board of directors so that both have information needed to fulfill their role with respect to the company objective? And the last one is, does the company has process in a place to communicate the result of report provided by the following external parties, namely the buyer? Okay, the next question is for monitoring. The first one is, does any deficiency happen is reported to the management? The second one is, does the internal control apply in department is reviewed by the management? Next, does the management monitor to ensure that funds provided by for the purchase of tangible non-current assets are expended only for agreed acquisition list of tangible non-current assets? Next, does the management consider the level of staffing, training, and skill of people performing the monitoring given the environment and the monitoring activity, which include observation, inquiries, and inspection of source documents? The last one is, does the management perform action to correct any efficiency happened and had been reported during the monitoring and internal control review? That's it. That's it.
Thank you, Ms. Farah and Ms. Asyiqin, for the questionnaire. So now we shall proceed to the flowchart about the case study of Helena Sendirian Berhad.
Sure, Ms. Hazimah. So for the flowchart, based on the information that I have gained after going through some documents and observation made during the audit process, the client internal control system flowchart are as follows. So the first part is to go through the production department, which purchase requisition is made. Then, the preparation of purchase order in form of letter began. Purchase order being made to the supplier and the data and through the managing department that the order has been made. As part of remuneration package, the buyer is entitled to bonus payments equating to 10% of any saving negotiable on budgeted costs. Holds a copy of the calculation together with a copy of the order documentation to the managing director. Then, reviews this again a copy of the budget and authorizing as appropriately needed and prepare for the documents for bonus check. Later, to the accounts department for payment of the bonus as part of the buyer's monthly salary were forwarded to the finance and administration department to update the buyer's account. Right, that's all from me.
Thank you, Mr. Ismail, for your explanation about the flowchart. So anyway, is there anything that you guys want to share?
Yes, I would like to share about the different types of subsequent event as stated under ISA 560 subsequent event. So there is two types of subsequent event. The first one is provide evidence of conditions that existed at the date of the financial statement. First, auditors should perform procedures designed to obtain sufficient appropriate audit evidence that all events up to the date of the auditor's report that may require adjustment or disclosure that have been identified. The second is auditors are liable for completing these procedures right up until the day that they sign the audit report, which is their final obligation in this regard. Second is provide evidence of conditions that arose after the date of the financial statement. After the date of audit report, the auditor has no further obligation to undertake processes or conduct any investigations into the financial statements. Upon becoming aware of an amendment, the auditor should discuss it with management and examine its impact on audit findings. After the date of the financial statement, auditors are no longer required to carry out the procedures, but They should become aware of any major developments and they are obligated to take appropriate action. That's all for types of subsequent events.
Thank you, Mr. Luqman, for your sharing. So before we end our meeting, is there any absentee?
I believe there is one absentee, which is Mr. Henry Hamid. He had some problems, so he cannot attend the meeting.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Ismail. So last but not least, before we end this meeting, I want to say thank you to all of you for cooperation and commitment given during this meeting. You guys may leave this meeting now.
Thank you, Mr. Asyiqin. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Ms. Hazimah.